Hey, how are you doing? I saw this video yesterday on Instagram that's depicting, I don't know, some bricks turning around and one side is golden, shining. I quite like the look of it. On the bottom you can see it's from AF Curation. If you're interested, you can check their Instagram out. Shouldn't be that difficult to do in Blender, so I gave it a go. Me from the future. I just wanted to say heads up. I used some paid add-ons at the end to create the scene you're about to see in a few seconds. I will show you still a general gist of how I go along creating the movement and how you can download free material packs. In the end, it's just a tedious task of copying the animation and just copying the animation, because it's mostly just clicking, moving the slides a little bit further, and that's it. So we're just going to start by importing the cube and just change the shape of it a little bit. Don't ask me why I'm taking these measurements. I just think they look good and I don't want it to be huge. Let's take 7.5 centimeter for the y-axis and was it 25 centimeter? Okay, it's like a brick, so I guess that's why I went for those measurements. Apply the scale, so everything is set to 1. Go to the Modifier tab and add a subdivision surface. Let's set it to simple, and let's add also a bevel modifier with a few more segments. It should be good enough. Let's shade smooth the whole thing. Maybe one more segment to bevel it. That's good enough. Go into edit mode, Shift R to add a loop cut. I moved a little bit, so Shift R. Okay, that's it. Then in face select mode, just by pressing 3, you press Alt and then select everything around it. Select font face 2 with Shift and select. Let's give it a new material, assign blue for now, it's good enough. Add a new material and then press Ctrl I to invert the selection. Add a new material, assign it again, and this side will be the gold side. Okay. And I usually use some add-ons to get the materials, but you can use Blender Kit, and let's just look for gold for now. I'm gonna go with black actually. Select the gold one, gold material, and give it the fine gold look. Didn't work, so we have to manually assign it. Gold will be fine gold. And first one will be black marble. Do I have an HDR? No, I don't. Let's take any environment for now. Let's go with indoor. Something with, okay, that's not really indoor. Anyway, I'll take it. Add a download. Okay, that's our first material look. You can always come back and change it, but for now I'm just gonna leave it like that. Get rid of this and we can apply all of these modifiers for now. Now what we need to do is add an array modifier, leave a little bit of a gap in between, so let's go with 1.05. And it will be a lot. You can change it to your liking. You can also just go with one brick if you want. Add a second array modifier. This time not on the X but on the Z. So let's go with 1.03. Good enough of a gap. Here I'm going to take 9. And the reason why I'm doing this, just to show you real quick, I'm going to separate everything. We're going to assign the bottom row. Give me the notation too. We're going. My mouse is too inaccurate. We're going to assign the bottom one with an animation by keyframing it. And then the only thing we're going to do from there is to copy the animation data. And since I wanted to move slightly out of sync, so this will turn first, then this will turn, then the other row will turn, so it's slowly shifting like a wave. Apply this, apply that too. Select everything, go into edit mode, press A, then press P and separate by loose parts. Go out of edit mode, right click, set origin to geometry, and now we have separate cubes that all have their own data. Now select the bottom row, give it a keyframe on the rotation. Let's go to frame 30 and press R, press X twice, 1, 2, so we're going to use the local space of the cubes so they rotate around themselves 180 degrees, and then we're going to give it another keyframe rotation. Let's check if it's the golden side facing towards us. Yes, it is. And now begins the fun part. Actually, not really, if you get my sarcasm. What we're going to do now is take each brick and move the keyframe by 5 frames. So 5, 10, 15, so on and so on. It will take a while, I know, but it will be worth it. It's a satisfying animation afterwards. See you on the other side. So if I didn't do anything stupid, it should all be delayed by 5 frames. So this one should, yes, exactly like that. It's always good to test it since you can do mistakes. I did quite a lot by preparing this, but there you have your first row. Now what we need to do, let's hide this one. No, we don't actually need to hide it. We can go into rendered view to make it easier. Go to frame 30. And so what we need to do is select this brick above. So we're always going to go in a diagonal. Select that one and select the animated bottom row, always the last. So start from top left, go down to top bottom right. We're going to press Ctrl L and link the animation data. Give me a sec. So the next row, select Shift L, Shift, select Ctrl L, link animation data. And that's what we're going to do for all of the bricks. And make sure you select the right ones. A quick tip, I forgot to mention it, you can go around frame 110, like when all the bottom rows are showing golden, just to give you a sense what kind of bricks don't have animation data just yet. We arrive to the final and last row. Select everything, be happy you're almost done. Ctrl L, link animation data. We don't need all of the rest, it was just to give it some extra information. And actually we can delete some more too. I will show you real quick. Delete those. I just wanted this part here because it looks almost like it's the same shape as the brick itself. I find it pleasing. So Ctrl I to select the opposite and delete everything. Let's give it a go if it works the way we want. It does. What we need to do is first save. Now that we have that, we can start placing our camera, setting up the scene. I like to go for the basic scene of a room, make it high. It should be a tall room. Select everything, scale it up on the x-axis and place it so that the wall, not out of edit mode, touches the bricks almost. Okay. On the top side I will press I to inset it twice, delete this face, and maybe subdivide it actually. Subdivide it a few times, 1, 2, and give it a material. I want it to shine, so silver. I'm gonna give it a silver look. Could be nice, silver ornament. Go with anything you like. Let's give it some light. You can also press Ctrl 0 and now you're basically in the view of the sun. Going to walk navigation mode, and then you can place where the sun should hit your wall. I like it in an angle like that, a little bit above, make it brighter, 10, and yeah, should be good enough. Then I want to add another light, a spotlight, change it to the shading tab, and now we're going to use the nodes. If you have the Node Wrangler add-on activated, Node Wrangler, you select the emission, press Ctrl T, and it already sets you up with this kind of setup. We're going to take the normal into the mapping. We're going to take the X and Y, select both. If my mouse would let me select both, okay, 0.5. And then you can download any kind of texture. I'm just going to use this from Unsplash, from Armand Kori. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And apply it to the light source. There's the light source so we can check it out. For now it is it's just purple, or no, more purplish. And just load the texture, the image texture you just want to apply. And now we can light our scene, give it some more detail. Same as we did with the sun. Press Ctrl 0 to be in the perspective of the lamp. Go into walk navigation. And let's also position it somewhere from an angle. Maybe the sun is too bright, but we can adjust it later. Let's do now. Let's go with 3 for now, because I want the patterns to show more. 100. Okay, let's go with that for now. I still don't like the silver. Let's change it again. You can just adjust it to your liking. Add a camera into your scene. Where's the camera? And where are we? Position it somewhere you want it to be. I like it from the bottom. Here, down a little bit. Okay. Should be good here. What I'm going to do now is also import an empty plane axis, and I'm going to make the camera follow this path. Let's give it a keyframe for the empty location. Let's have a look where the animation stops and all the bricks are showing. Around 128, so let's move the empty to the top right. Give it another keyframe for the location. Go back to the camera, select the camera. Give it another constraint, or not another, give it a constraint. Track 2, empty. And a depth of field also on the empty. So now the camera should follow along while everything is spinning and turning around. You can also adjust the field of view Another thing that I realized is there's no way or machine that's moving the bricks, so we can pretend there's some kind of trick behind that. Let's give it some loop cuts here and there again. Also one on top. Now select all these faces here. Is it all of them? Yeah. And let's extrude them a little bit outwards. Select the edges and bevel it just a little bit. Can now move the whole cube. And let's just pretend there's something weird going on behind the scene, and that's why all the bricks are moving, even though we can see there's nothing there. I don't like that we can see the top part here. Let's select all the edges on top. F to close it, to fill it, and we're going to give this a new material. Let's look for glass. Glass bricks, that could be nice. I like the feeling of this one. It's a bit dark, quite dark actually. So we have to move the spotlight a little bit inside. Maybe the red texture isn't all the best there after all. Just play around with it. After fiddling around a little bit with everything, I decided to put an area lamp on top to shine on the glass itself to make the scene a little bit more bright. I changed the color of the room back to silver. You can change it to anything you like. I also played around with the f-stop to get it to 0.5, which I think looks quite nice. And then you can fill your scene with some lights. I should do that here too, to make it look like it has more sense. But all in all, that's it. Just play around with it. Press play. It follows the empty, and at the end it just stops, and then you can do whatever. You can do different kind of angles too, and render the whole scene like that. I hope you enjoyed that one. Also like and subscribe if you liked it.